Welcome back to the fourth episode of the Dose podcast. With this episode, we're going straight into it. So, again, an introduction. I'm T. I'm the owner of Yak, and I'm with my mentor, Tony.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? This is the wonderful Tony, and there's two things I've never seen in this life: an extraterrestrial and a bitch I can't have.
Oh, we're going straight into it. Okay, cool. So, the title of this episode, or something along those lines, is going to be something like the worst advice you've ever been told. So, it's going to be breaking down some of the things that you've been told as a kid, as an adult, as whatever, and how detrimental it can be, whether it's in regards to just your general life or whether it's in regards to women or just anything in general. So, the first thing that you've been told, which is goofy, is there's no such thing as a stupid question. Bruv, if you can Google the question, it is stupid, bruv. Listen, bruv. Look, I had some people asking me, like, if, why do you take 20,000 units of vitamin D? Because it gives me more energy. That's what vitamin D does, because I want to do it. I have people asking me questions to where, like, they're so simple. It's like, I don't understand how you can even ask that question. At the same time, it's not like I'm perfect, right? It's not like I've always asked good questions, but and Tony has checked me sometimes on some questions that I've asked in terms of, bro, that's a stupid question. You need to like pattern up kind of thing. But that's the kind of thing that you need. That's why a mentor comes in. That's what we talk about in episode 1 in terms of having that person to essentially check you. But some of the questions that some people ask are so goofy. It's like, bro, you need to be thinking ahead. Like the general framework I have for a question nowadays is I try and solve the question myself first. So if I have a question, okay, boom, as opposed to asking, let's say, Tony, I'll actually try and work out myself. Okay, I'll run like a script through my head. It's almost like if you ever played football in terms of American football, or you've ever played Madden or whatever. They have the scripts drawn out beforehand, so we know, okay, this guy's going to be on a route there, this guy's going to be blocking there. Okay, so in terms of this question, if I ask this question, what kind of answer could it lead to, or what kind of thing could it open up? And then so that's when it opens up a whole another rabbit hole to where a lot of the times you'll be able to answer your own question because you've been able to script it out and actually break it down. Like, oh, okay, I don't need to ask that question. But then as a result of being able to answer your own questions, it's making you so much smarter because when you actually do ask questions, it's a pertinent question. It's a question which someone can actually understand. Like, okay, he's actually thought about this. He hasn't just come to me and just asked me, okay, my girl cheated on me, should I take her back? Like, bro, that's an obvious answer to that question. And the problem is with those kind of stupid questions is that people, the person you're asking now views you in a different light because they're looking at you like, okay, this guy clearly doesn't have the wherewithal to know, okay, this is a stupid question, or he hasn't even like tried to work out himself. So that's a lot of, especially the younger generation. As I said, I understand you're young. I understand all that kind of thing. And I've been in that situation as well while I've asked them questions. But it's a matter of being cognizant of it and then going forward from there, knowing, okay, boom, I need to answer my own question. And then from there, go forward. And from there, that's when I'm going to become a smarter individual because I'm actually able to break down my own thought process, break down my own logic. So what do you have to say on that kind of thing, Tony?
Well, the first thing is these motherfuckers just don't believe in themselves. You know, a lot of these questions will just go away when you believe in yourself. You believe in yourself and you believe in something. You got principles, you know, you have certain standards for things. You've taken the time to get to know who you are and what you expect, how you live, you know. Okay, my girl cheated on me. Should I take her back? Well, are you a cuckold? You know, do you enjoy the thought of other men fucking your girl? You know, in that case, then yes, take her back. You know, if you've never thought about who you are and what that makes you to follow along with something, then you're not going to have any principles. You're not going to have any standards. You're not going to know what to do. There's not a question you could ask me right now that I won't have a good answer for, you know, of anything. You know, as long as it's not some science shit that I'm not aware of, you know, then I could answer any question in life, you know, a business question, a professional question. There's no question I couldn't answer and have a good answer for because I know who I am. I know what I believe. I know what my standards for things are. I know how things are supposed to go. You guys who are asking these goofy questions, and I get them too. I get crazy questions. And just like you said before, I had to be like, hey, think about that question for a second and just ask yourself. You remember I'd be like, just ask yourself, and what do you think? And then you never answered the question wrong. All those questions you ever asked me when you were first starting up that were crazy, I would just say, answer that question yourself and tell me what the answer is. And you would answer it and you would always be right. And the thing is it's good to have a mentor, but all a mentor is really there to do is to pave you to be able to answer the questions by yourself. And for you guys that do ask these dumb questions, if you're wondering, how do I know if a question's stupid or not? Just start giving scenarios. That's how you do it. Start putting all of your questions into scenario form, and that's how you do it. And then ask yourself the question before you ask someone else too. Save our fucking time. Because it really does. It puts you in a certain bracket when you ask crazy questions. It makes us see you a certain way if it's a stupid question. It lets us know where you're at for sure.
100%. 100%. And I think people realize just how kind of, especially someone in a position such as myself, to where I've got an account and I have a bunch of people asking me questions. If you're consistently asking me stupid questions, I'm going to take longer to reply to you because I know, okay, when this person's names pop up, it's going to ask me something goofy. So I'm not even going to entertain this kind of thing. So it's like, you just have to be aware, okay, cool. Is this question something that is obvious, or is it something that actually has some nuance to it? And that's the kind of thing that you should be looking to answer yourself as well, in terms of, obviously, with the more experience that you have in anything, the more you understand nuance because you've seen more, experienced more, that kind of thing. So that's when you would be asking the advanced person, the person who knows more than you, the kind of questions that you want to ask. But if it's kind of thing to where it's so obvious, like I had one person ask me, I'm 6'1" and I'm in a different place right now. Does that mean that I'm small or something like that? I'm like, bro, what kind of question is this? Like, you're asking something that you know the answer to. You're 6'1", you know you're tall. Just because the environment changes doesn't mean that you're suddenly shrink. Like, that's just the kind of thing where you have to be thinking about, okay, does this question even remotely make sense? This is something that if you could answer the question within 5 seconds, then it's a goofy question. Like, it's just the kind of thing where obviously it comes with experience. It comes with having to delve deeper into your mind. You have to go past the surface. You have to read between the lines of what anyone says to you, but also what you think. For example, if you're sad right now, you can't just feel to yourself, okay, I'm sad, so I'm going to be sad. You have to dissect what it is that actually makes you sad, how it makes you sad. And then from there, okay, in the future, if this kind of trigger happens, then I know I need to do this instead so that I can avoid that kind of route. You should be constantly being a player, man. Just constantly moving past stuff, moving ahead, being ahead of the game, as opposed to just getting caught up on anything or almost slowing yourself down. That's what a stupid question does. You're slowing yourself down, you're slowing down your progress, you're essentially, in a sense, cooking yourself because you don't have the kind of mindset to where it's going to help you grow because you're so fixed up on something that is so small. He's focused on the small picture as opposed to the bigger game.
Yeah, no doubt. And another thing I'm going to tell you, motherfuckers, how about you just think before you talk? I know that sounds crazy, but obviously that's not the case for everybody. You guys are not thinking before you talk, and you guys aren't thinking before you ask these fucking questions. And we can tell. So if you're one of those guys right now that's like, no, I'd always think before, I guarantee you don't. And here's why. Even if you think before you talk, I'm going to tell you how you know if you think before you talk. If you don't have a specific reason, if you don't have a specific outcome in mind, if you don't have a specific goal with everything you say or everything you ask, then you're not thinking before you talk. So even if you are half-assed thinking about what you're saying before you say it, think about that. You need to always be playing. You need to always have a goal with what you're saying and what you're asking. If you ask a girl, oh, what's your name? What's your sign? And your goal is, oh, I'm going to have conversation. I'm going to ask her and she's going to talk to me. I'm going to go up to this cute girl at the bar and, she's going to like me. All that bullshit, that little itty bitty ass shit that don't mean nothing. That's the result you're going to get. You're going to go up to her with the goal of having a conversation and you're going to get a conversation. Me and T here, if we talk to a girl, T's been well trained. If we talk to a girl, we have a specific outcome in mind for either what we said or what we asked. If I ask a girl something like, oh, what's your sign, baby? I already know what the next thing I'm going to say when she answers. She could say some shit like, oh, I'm a Pisces, and I'd be like, yeah, that's why you're trying to act like a killer whale, huh? And she's going to go, the whole goal there is to just pull her in closer, stick hooks in her. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole, oh, I'm a Pisces. Oh, you know what? I'm glad I brought my fishing pole. You know what I mean? She's going to laugh at that shit. The whole point was to lure her in and pull her ass in deeper. You know what I mean? You don't just talk just to talk. You don't ever just ask something just to ask something. You really have to have a goal. I feel like a lot of you guys who ask us these crazy questions, you're really only asking us because you want to be in the presence of greatness. You just want to talk to someone who
That's
is
cold.
elevated. You see, you just want to talk to someone that's elevated. If you've seen Elon Musk walking down the street right now, you would go run out to go talk to him. You don't even know what you would say. You wouldn't go up to him and ask him about some business shit. You would just see Elon Musk and be like, "Oh, are you Elon Musk?" And he'd say, "Yeah." And you'd be like, uh, I'm a big fan." And he'd go, "Well, thanks." And he'd walk away because you look stupid, because you are stupid, versus walking up to him and being like, "What's your number one trick for success?" You know what I mean? Get him on some shit on his level. That's where he's going to operate. For you guys who ask me these beginner level questions, to be honest, man, I can't even really help you with this shit. Like I'm for the advanced. And I
Mm-hmm.
see T's starting to get there too. Like, you can't ask me, "Oh, I'm depressed and no girls like me. What can I do?" Bro, I can't take myself down there mentally to help you. I can't even understand what you're going through, bro. Like, you need to go through these YouTube reels or something and talk to them motherfuckers who talk to those kind of guys, because I can't really help you there. You got to put yourself mentally put yourself mentally a bracket above from where you're at right now. And that's where you're going to be. It's that simple. Just decide, I'm above where I feel like I am right now. And that's day one. That's where you start. The kind of questions and the things you say reflect that. And if you don't have a goal, your game is not going to be as sharp. When I talk to a girl, I already know she's going to say A, B, or C. And whether she says A, B, or C, I'm already going to have a response to that. And the response is going to lead towards what? Me leaving with this bitch. Fuck getting her number. I don't want her number. I want to leave with this bitch. She has 5 minutes to decide if she's leaving with me. Now, even if she just leaves with me and goes out and talks in the parking lot, away from the club, away from the bar, away from the coffee shop, just her leaving with me, that starts off the leadership dynamic. That starts off the I'm taking her somewhere. We're leading to something. You know what I mean? You guys have to think like that. The questions that your mind produces, if you catch yourself asking yourself a goofy ass question, you need to reflect and say, "Damn, my game has been dropped. What have I been listening to? Who have I been talking to? Or what have I not been doing?" The kind of questions I ask myself is, how can I make it to $1 million by the end of next year? How can I have you know what I mean? Bitches helping me. Fuck having a girlfriend. How can my bitch help me with my business? How can my bitch get her friends in on this to help me with this business? Those are the kind of thoughts I have. So do you think I'm asking, I wonder if she likes me? No, I don't care if she likes me. I care if she helps me. So those are the kinds of questions I ask myself. Those are the kinds of things I say towards that end. So you motherfuckers that don't have goals, you know, big goals and small goals. Big goals, I need this bitch. She needs to help me with this business. This bitch needs to bring in money. Small goals. When I say this, she says this. When I say this, she asks this. When I ask this, she says this. You have to have that shit in your mind, and that's going to help you guys a lot. I know this shit sounds basic, and it almost sounds like you should already know this kind of shit. It sounds self-explanatory. A lot of you motherfuckers are probably thinking right now, "Oh, I knew that." No, you didn't. No, the fuck you didn't. No one listening to this already knew that right now. I guarantee it, because that's some high-level shit right there. Go ahead, T, kick it.
And when he was saying that you have to have like a purpose, that's something obviously Tony taught me. You have to, a lot of people send me a text of them with a girl and say, "What should I say?" or "What did I do wrong?" And my first thing is always, what are you trying to get out of the situation? Because that answer alone lets you know how you need to play. You're gonna, if you have a basketball team, I think I spoke about this on the last podcast. You're gonna speak to the star player different. You're gonna speak to the bench player, and that's just how everything in life works. You're gonna speak to the CEO differently. You speak to the janitor. You're gonna speak to Messi and Ronaldo different to you speak to some League Two player. That's just the way the game goes. There's levels to this stuff, so you have to know beforehand. Okay, in this situation, I want X, Y, Z. So therefore, I have to do X, Y, Z in order to get to that end goal. And there's Tony just said you have to have that end goal in mind well before it even comes to pass, well before, even if just like in the beginning stages, you have to be thinking big, you have to be thinking of that end goal of what you're hoping to achieve. But a second goofy advice you've been told that is messing with you, that is messing up your mindset, your the way that you move is a happy wife means a happy life. Tony, you go crazy with this one.
Man, you want me to kick this shit off?
Going crazy.
All right, you guys, look, as far as I'm concerned, I don't lose the bitch. The bitch loses me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the fucking prize. I'm the diamond. You know, I could have 7 motherfuckers like you. You can't ever have another motherfucker like me. There ain't no motherfuckers walking. I'll drive around today all day long. I'll look left and I'll look right. I ain't gonna see another motherfucker like me. I know that. I'm gonna go to the mall. I'm gonna see 7 bitches that look like her and 5 that look better. You know what I mean? So you have to have that mentality. I don't mean you just treat your bitch like shit, blah, 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 but you have to realize you are the prize, you know? And for some of you guys, that means stop aiming so high because some of you guys are out here aiming for overly fine bitches and your game just ain't there yet. You know, this ain't me telling you to accept less than what you want. You need to grow into this shit. You know, you need to grow into becoming this dude. Should you still be talking to overly fine bitches? Well, yeah. But if the rejection is hurting you, if catching the bitch and then her trying to dog you out is hurting you, then you need to put that shit to the side. The point, though, is that there's actually a mentality for motherfuckers around here. You know, happy wife, happy life means I'm scared she's gonna go. You know, that shit goes along with you know, when the dudes say it's cheaper to keep her, I'm gonna stay married because I'll lose my retirement, I'll lose my house, you know, blah blah blah. That shit's coke, man. Listen to that shit. That's some shit your dad probably says. You know, it's cheaper to keep her. I don't want to lose her. I'll just lose my house. She'll take my boat. Fuck that shit. There is nobody above me on this earth. You know, I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared if this bitch leaves. Let her do whatever she wants to do when she leaves. Half the time, the reason these bitches divorce these dudes is because they know he's scared of a divorce. You know, I'm not scared of a divorce. I'm not scared of a breakup. I'm not scared of a bad split up. You know, I'm not scared if the bitch leaves at all. And she knows that. So that's just automatically her little power, her little fucking power is gone. You know, I have the mentality like you know, I'll fight to keep you on some level. You know what I mean? Like if my bitch goes to jail, I'm gonna still ride her and make sure she has everything she needs. You know, if my bitch goes through a hard time, she gets sick or something, I'm gonna take care of her because that's the right thing to do, you know, because you love her. But she has to know that there's nothing above thee. There's nothing above thee that scares you. Any little tool she has, because guaranteed a bitch is gonna be looking for something. A bitch is going to be looking for something to have over you so she can manipulate you with it. You know, that's what they do. You look at what all these bitches are saying nowadays. You know, oh, a real man pays the bills, or I'm not going to be doing wife shit without a ring. I'm not going to be doing wife shit for a dude who's not paying my bills. You know, and listen to what that's really saying. A real man isn't intimidated by a woman who goes out and shakes her ass at the club wearing a dress that don't cover her body. A real man this, a real man that. That bitch is playing your insecurity. You know, she's playing your insecurity and making it like you're insecure if you don't let her do whatever the fuck she wants. She's going to live her life however the fuck she wants. And if you don't like any aspect of it, you're insecure. You know, oh, you got to pay all her bills or you're insecure. Bitches gaslight you. That's just one example. They hang anything they can over your head. If you're black and you're dating a white girl, well, then what's that white girl going to inevitably do? She's going to know that you're scared of the police and she's going to put it on a police level. That's simple. You know, she's going to know you're scared of the cops. You don't want the cops coming over. So she's going to say, I'll call the cops. And then what do you do? Oh, okay, fuck shit. I don't give a fuck about the cops, but she knows you do. You know, so it's always going to go back to the cops. If she's got some brothers who are gangbangers, you know, I'll tell my brothers, you know, whatever it is, she's going to bring it to whatever level she can to have something hanging over your head. And you have to get it. You have to get it through. Hold on a second. Hey, Mom. Whatever she's got, she's gonna hang it. She's gonna hang it over your fucking head. She's gonna have any kind of little tool, any kind of threat, any kind of fucking thing she has. She's gonna put it over you. You know. And I know this question is about happy wife, happy life. But really, happy wife, happy life it comes down to you being scared of her leaving. You know, happy wife, happy life don't mean you do whatever this bitch wants. It means you do whatever this bitch wants, or she's gonna go. She's gonna blow. Let the bitch blow. Let the bitch go. You know what I mean? I never seen a hoe that won't go. It's just that simple. The bitch can't fly. Let her fly. Don't hold her back. Don't be scared. And when you're with her, don't let anything be above thee that scares you. And that's part of being a boss too. All of you motherfuckers need to have something that she sees you for that's yours. You know, whether it's a small part-time business, whether you start coaching people, whether you start giving financial advice, whatever it is, you got to have something that's yours so she can see you be the boss. Because if she only sees you as, you know, Danny, the fucking guy that works at T-Mobile, she knows you got a boss. That boss got a boss. There's like 4 or 5 motherfuckers you got to listen to. You're acting like an employee. You need to start acting like a boss and thinking like a boss. It's that simple. Now, whether you got a job, that's cool. I'm not saying quit your job and go do that, but you need to have a job. And when you talk, you need to talk about your business. You need to talk about your campaign. You need to have a campaign. You need to have a campaign for the bitch to see you like you're campaigning. You know what I mean? If you ain't leading some shit right now, you're not a leader. You know, all you motherfuckers want a submissive bitch. What's she going to submit to? If a bitch submitted to you right now, what's she submitting to? Not a motherfucking thing, not a goddamn thing. And that's why she sees it. And that's why you guys are over here focusing on a bitch needs to be submissive that, a bitch needs to be submissive this. Well, what's the bitch going to submit to? You don't ever talk about what the fuck you're doing. You don't ever talk about what the fuck she's going to submit to. You know, the worst thing that could ever happen is you get a submissive bitch and you blow her. You know what that shit's going to do to your fucking pride and ego? You fuck around and actually catch the bitch you be talking about on the internet, get her, and then fucking blow it off because you ain't shit. That shit's really going to hurt you. Fuck the whole you can't stand these bitches. You think that shit hurts. Catch the right bitch and then blow her. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to fuck you up. That's that shit that's going to have you sitting in a dark room crying, sliding down the fucking wall like a light skinned motherfucker. You know what I mean? You guys gotta come out this shit hard. You gotta realize this bitch will hang anything she can over your head. She will put anything above you. You know what I mean? You can't have shit. If the bitch thinks you're scared of violence, you know what I mean? Do I believe in beating a bitch up? No. But I do have a bitch fully convinced that I'm not beyond whooping her ass. You know, I haven't had to even beast up or slap a girl in fucking years, dude. But you know what I mean? She knows that's not beyond me. She knows that's not outside of my character. And for you motherfuckers that are rolling in your stomach right now, you should probably hang up because the game is too hard for you. But in reality, for these, it's never okay to touch a girl. Okay, let's just say a girl kicks in your front door, pisses on the table, slaps your mom in the face, kicks your fucking dog, and spits in your face. You're not going to slap her? Because that's exactly what's going to happen if she knows you never, ever will. Whatever you have that she can throw in your face, that's what she's going to throw in your face. You're scared of her leaving and taking the money. You're scared of her brothers. You're scared of her dad. You're scared of losing her. Whatever it is, she's got that over you. You can't let her have anything over you. And when the bitch knows there's nothing she can do to hurt you, there's nothing she can do to make you beg, no matter what, you will never get on your knees to keep her. That's how you have a happy wife.
For real, and you broke that stuff down so cold. And I mean, it all fundamentally comes down to your mindset and how you actually view yourself as a man. It's one of them things to where if you can have all the money in the world, you can have the six pack, you can have everything. But if you view a woman as better than you, if you view a woman as more important than you, she's going to treat you as a sucker. And that's when this kind of happy life mindset comes into play. Because your intrinsic value of yourself is so low and your external kind of outlook on a woman is so high that you do anything for her. That's not to say that you shouldn't do anything for your woman. You shouldn't do anything for a woman. But even in terms of that, your woman has to treat you in a certain way. She has to look up to you in a certain way to where you're willing to do anything for her, whether it's protect her, die for her, that kind of thing, because that's how it's supposed to be. It's almost like a undeniable respect that she has for you, but it's earned. It's not kind of one of them things to where you just give it to her because she's a woman. Nah, she's got to earn that. She's got to earn the right to be your girl. Think about it. In medieval times or 1,000 years ago or whatever, if you're the king, a woman kind of walk into your life and can be your queen. I mean, you are a certain prestige in life to where you might be able to go up to any kind of woman and say, okay, you're my girl now. But it's going to be like XYZ and you're going to be living with me in my castle and all that kind of thing. There's that aspect to it, but at the same time, it's a whole mindset of I'm a king, you're going to do what I want you to do, not because it's manipulative, but because that's just the caliber of person that I am, and there isn't anyone else like me. It's almost like what you're talking about, that you're the best thing that a woman will have. It's just a whole mindset shift, it's a whole different perspective that so many people have messed up. They've had so many kind of skewed ideas of what it actually means to be like the man. And I genuinely believe a lot of this comes down to the whole demonization of the ego. And that's a whole other topic that we could go in and of itself. The whole idea of the ego as the enemy is one of the goofiest things I've ever heard. Because every single man who has his name renowned for years to come, whether it's Michael Jordan, whether it's Alexander the Great, whether it's Socrates, whatever, they all have an ego. But a lot of them, or a lot of people don't understand what an ego actually is. An ego is just your perception of yourself. Your ego is the thing which will propel you to that next level if you use it to your advantage. But at the same time, if you play too deep into it, it's going to be your downfall because it's going to control you as opposed to you controlling it. And that's just one of them things to where with a lot of people, that's what happens. They don't understand what the ego is, so they allow it to control them. And then they end up in jail or they end up doing something goofy and they just mess up their life. Like you have to control your ego. You have to be in complete control. And the greatest example or the best example I can give of this is in the gym. When you're ego lifting, you should be cognizant of it in terms of, okay, I know I'm doing this because I just want to lift heavy, or I'm doing this just because it's boosting my ego because I'm going to lift this heavy weight and all that kind of thing. But you actually have to be aware of that. If you're not aware of, okay, I'm going outside of my normal routine and I'm doing something extra just to validate myself, then you're just not going to be able to utilize that ego to your advantage. But if you can be aware of that, if you can be understanding of, okay, now is the time when I'm getting into my ego, then that's the kind of thing which propel you forward. And it's almost like what we were talking about earlier. You just have to be cognizant of everything. You have to be cognizant of why you're doing what you're doing, and then the actual underlying reasons as to why you're doing what you're doing. Because a difference between going to gym and the difference between going to gym because you want to become scary. There's a difference between going to speaking to a woman and you want to speak to a woman because you want her to become your woman and you want her to be the mother of your children. That intention that you need to be switching, that perspective that you need to be adopting, that mindset you need to be shifting towards in order to actually become the man that you're looking to be. It's a whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's really that simple. At the end of the day, you guys, you got to realize, like, if I'm ever called upon to where I got to die for my bitch or for my family, you know what I mean? I will do it. You know what I mean? I will put my safety in jeopardy to save my bitch. But that's under the context of her being my bitch. These bitches expect you to die for them. You know, they expect you to go out there and risk your neck. They expect you to go out there and earn the bread and bring it home. And she gets to benefit off of that. These bitches, for all of you guys that say these bitches aren't traditional, oh, they're very traditional. They still expect you to be a motherfucking 15th century farmer. You know what I'm saying? Having a house. You want a house. They want the house to have land. They want pets. They want kids. They want you to earn all the money. They want to stay home. It's only they don't want to do the traditional wife shit. But they're expecting traditional still. They're still expecting all that traditional shit. They don't want to be traditional, but they're expecting traditional shit. You still have to be traditional despite that. What she does is not enough to change you. You know what I mean? What she's not bringing to the table is not enough for you to not bring something to the table. You still need to do what you're supposed to do as a man, period. Just because this bitch ain't doing what she's supposed to do, don't mean you stop doing what you're supposed to do. You just go give it to a bitch that deserves it. It's that simple. You know, you got to believe in being the man. You got to believe in being the leader. You got to believe in getting this money. You know what I'm saying? You got to believe in having shit a certain way. Just because you're with the bitch that don't do that, don't mean you stop doing that. It just means you go get a bitch that will do it with you. It's that simple. You know what I mean? You are expected to die to protect your bitch. If the thought of dying to protect your bitch, if the thought of, you know what I mean, putting babies in the bitch you're with, if the thought of going out and working hard to support kids with the bitch you're with makes you sick to your stomach, you are with the wrong bitch. You know what I mean? You got you on the right track. You're just on the wrong train. You know what I mean? You got to go get the right bitch for the game. You know what I mean? You got the right game. You just got the wrong bitch. It's really not hard. You know, you guys got to understand there's a lot of wrong bitches out here. You know what I mean? And that don't mean just leave the bitch today because she ain't doing what you want. You know, you got to give the bitch an opportunity to build. I've never had a bitch that came, you know what I mean, pre-cut. These bitches are Build-A-Bears. You got to put a lot into them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of work that you have to do. Now, the younger the girl, the less experienced she is. You know what I mean? You got an 18-year-old girl that hasn't had sex with 12 different dudes. Well, she's going to be a lot easier to work with. But at the same time, you know what I mean? They ain't all 18 and 19 and 20. You know, they ain't all fucking 21 with one body. You know what I mean? There's many different bitches, and you got to have your game designed for many different reasons. You know, if you get a bitch who you got her and she's not right for this marriage shit, she's not right for this having kids shit, well, then change the dynamic of the relationship away from that. There's bitches out here that just ain't traditional. This bitch just ain't wifey material. She ain't never going to be wifey material. She ain't never going to be long-term material. Well, you can throw that bitch away based on that. Or you can say, hey, but you know what? This bitch can type 99 words a minute, and I am kind of working on a book. You know what I mean? You can take it to that level. You know, well, you know what? The bitch does look good, and she does have a nice body, and I have been working on my fucking online coaching shit. So, you know, every bitch has a purpose. Every bitch has a value, you know? You need to be trained to see the value in a bitch. And for those bitches who are out here, girl tells you she's got 45 bodies, and you know what I mean? She's never been in a relationship for more than 3 months. You know, instead of being sick to your stomach when you hear that, say, well, you know what, baby? I happen to know the owner of that strip club over there down the street, and those bitches are making $1,000 a night. Did you know that? You know what I mean? You got to be able to work this shit in any potential angle. Now, some of us got hard nosed shit we can't do, shit we can't be involved in. I get that. That's part of knowing who you are. But what I am saying is every girl has a purpose. Every girl has a value. You know, you can find a value in any one of them.
So you got to see. It's almost like a Build-A-Bear, as you said, but it's almost like, you know, if you go into like a casino, if you go into anywhere outdoorsy and you have one of those grabber machines and you put your money in and it comes down and it picks the thing up. But with your grabber, you have to be selective, or you have to think, okay, in terms of what am I grabbing? Is it something that's going to be beneficial for me, or is it going to be something that's going to be a liability for me? At the end of the day, I mean, everything, but especially with women, they're either an asset or a liability. And you have to be able to discern very quickly the difference between the two. If it's a liability in any way, shape, or form, cut her off. It don't matter how bad she is, it don't matter how fat her ass is, it don't matter how rich she is, whatever, cut her off, because that's going to be someone who's going to drag you down. But if it's an asset, someone who, even if it's not someone who you're going to necessarily impregnate or whatever, but if it's someone who you know will make your life easier, then that's an asset, and that's something which you should invest in. But obviously, there's different kind of investments. If you know something is worth $5 now, it's going to be worth 1,000. You're going to be investing more into that as opposed to something that's worth $2 now, it's going to be worth $3. So obviously, that's on you to have your own judgment of that and to know, okay, boom, with this person, I need to invest X amount, in this person, I need to X Y amount. But just being cognizant of that, again, that seems like one of the themes of this episode 4, just being cognizant and being aware of exactly why you're doing what you're doing and the reasons why you're doing it. So the third one that we have on this list is your average red pool goofy goober of she's not yours, it's just your turn. And Tony and I were speaking about this before, and he had a cold way of explaining this. So Tony, again, I'm gonna let you go crazy.
All right, y'all, check it out. So this whole "it's not your bitch, it's your turn" shit. Remember a minute ago we were talking about how the way you think about things and the goals that you have and what you say will inevitably change how you talk and how you see things. And what you do, what you say, what your goals are behind the things is inevitably going to change who you are. So you got to get in line with who you are. You got to get in line with what you say and what you believe. So in the game, we never said no shit like "it's not your girl, it's your turn." But we did have a saying that's kind of similar. It was "cop and blow." Cop and blow means, you know what I mean? I never seen a hoe that won't go. You know, that's what we used to say. So inevitably you would have it in your head like it's very possible this bitch leaves. So what does that mean? This bitch is going to leave. So, you know, I'm not going to give her all the game. No, I'm going to give her all the game. You know, she's going to give me all the money. She's going to give me all the whatever I'm looking for. So what we used to say was "cop and blow." Means you get a bitch and you lock her down. You know, you snatch her up and you take everything. You know what I mean? And she might leave one day, But while I got her, she's going to give me everything I need. So that changes the mentality. It takes it from, when you got it in your head, you know what I mean? It's not your girl, it's your turn. You got it in your head that inevitably she's going to go. She's going to leave one day. It's going to go bad. And you're going to play that shit soft. You're going to play that shit half-ass. Oh, well, why should I care anyways? Why should I care if she disrespects me? You know what I mean? She's not going to be here for a long time. Why should I care if she doesn't bring anything to the table? She's going to be gone anyways. Well, that's weak. You know what I mean? Versus me, I believe in full ownership. Damn near slavery. The bitch has to give me whatever I want. The bitch has to bring everything to the table I need her to bring to the table. Now, if she goes, she goes. As far as I'm concerned, I didn't lose her. She lost me. You know what I mean? I'm the prize. I'm the motherfucking uncut gem. I'm the catch. She's been waiting her whole life to meet a motherfucker like me. I ain't been waiting my whole life to meet a motherfucker like her. So what does that tell you? Cop and blow. That means you go hard. You play hard on these bitches. You pimp hard on these bitches. You get everything you can from these bitches. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of cop and blow. When a bitch gives you $1,000 a week, say a bitch is bringing you $1,000 a week, one way or another. You know what I mean? We won't even get into that. But let's just say a bitch is bringing something to the table. She's bringing $1,000 a week. It could be many different things, but in this case, we'll just make it about money. Well, what do you think you do? Do you put her first or do you put you first? Well, the bitch could go. The bitch could go any day. So what do? You put more of that shit into yourself and into your campaign. You put it in a place where she can see it. If the bitch gives you $1,000 a week, that means you put $800, $900 towards you and $100 or $200 towards her. So then she has something to show for it. And you know what? Truth be told, it's probably going to be more than she would have to show for her own money. If the bitch had her own $1,000 a week, she would have no money at the end of the week and nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? Versus if you took that little $1,000 a week and at the end of the month, you know what I mean? You just put $100 a week towards her, $400 at the end of the week. Boom. Now she's got a bag. Now she's got a Chanel bag. Now she's got some fucking Louboutin shoes. She would have never had those by herself. And if she did have them by herself, she'd have put it on a credit card. She'd have fucked up her credit and went in debt for fucking the next 2 years to pay them off. Because that's how bitches are. They don't know how to manage their money. And if they do, their money don't look as good on them as it does on you. You always got to remember that. You know what I mean? Versus me, who will have Gucci this, Gucci that, Versace this, Versace that, new seats in my car, new this, new that. So what does that tell you, dude? You got to put yourself first. You got to put your goals first. You got to put pain into yourself first. Cop and blow. Fuck is cheaper to keep her. Fuck that. Fuck that. They come and they go. Fuck all that shit. Any bitch I got today, I'm going to play it like I got her for a long fucking time. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to put the game down hard and I'm going to keep that fucking bitch as best I can. And I'm going to get everything I can out of that bitch while I got her. Pride of ownership. You motherfuckers ain't got no pride of ownership. You ain't got no pride in what you own. You ain't got no pride in having your property. I do. That's why I play this shit different. You'll never hear me say some red pill shit like that. You know what I mean? It's not your hoe. It's just your turn. No, it's my hoe. And I'm going to get everything I can out this bitch till the day I ain't got her. As far as I'm concerned, for as much as I took from her, I still gave something back. And the bitch is going to look better leaving than she did coming. And I'm going to tell her that shit. Hey, bitch, check it out. You came with nothing and you left with this. She's going to have that shit in her head. Like, damn, man, like, he really did put me onto this. He really did put me onto that. So it's a mentality. And if you don't pay attention, it's going to seem like it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. It's different. I'm going to go hard while I got her. You're not going to go at all because you think she's going to go because you're worried about her leaving. You know what I mean? Why would you say it's not your bitch, it's your turn unless you were worried about her leaving? I'm not worried about her leaving. I'm worried about what she is doing right now today. And it's that easy. Dig that.
For real. There's a difference between knowing that a woman will leave and you being willing that she will leave, in the sense of it's almost like the whole idea of a scarcity mindset versus abundant mindset. With that, it's not yours, it's your turn. That's a scarcity mindset because you're approaching the game from a loser's position. You're already going into the game of, okay, well, she's eventually going to go, so I'm going to do X, Y, and Z because I know she's going to go, so I don't want to invest into anything too deep. I don't want to go into anything like balls deep kind of thing. And that's just a weird ass mindset, bro, because the whole idea of this game is about elevation, not only elevating yourself, but elevating your woman as well. As Tony said, the woman that you're speaking to, they should leave better after they're with you than they were before because you're elevating them to a different level, whether it's the game you're giving them, whether it's the mindset which you're giving them, all that kind of thing. But when you're going into a situation where she's not yours, it's not your turn, you're setting yourself up for failure. And the thing is, a lot of these women can smell that on you as well. Whether it's the type of woman you're attracting, the type of woman you aren't attracting. Because what type of woman who you are attracting, they're the type who they're all bust downs. They're all you could pay them $5 and they're opening their legs up, bro. You can buy them a McDonald's cheeseburger and they're giving you head. Well, that's the type of women you're attracting with that type of mindset. And at the same time, the women who actually value themselves, they can smell that you're on that type of energy. So they're going to be repulsed by you. They're not going to give you that time of day because they know the type of man that you are. Like 50s had a line when the song she said, between the twinkle in your eyes, I can see the bitch in you. And that's the same thing with women in the sense of they have an understanding of energy that most men aren't even slightly aware of. And if you move in any kind of weird way, any kind of like inauthentic way, she can smell that on you and she'll either act accordingly in terms of because she's so low value, but she's willing to play your game, or she will move correct and just not even give you the time of day. So that's something that you have to shift. And it's something that I've constantly talked about on Yak. You can't be obsession or nothing. That's a new kind of thing that I've been speaking about recently. I'd rather not have a chick than to have one who just half-assed. It's like with sales as well. I'd rather be told no than a maybe. The word maybe, just that middle ground is something that like genuinely I disdain. Like it's like when someone said I need to think about it, bro. You either tell me yes or no. I don't care which one it is. If it's a yes, okay, cool. We're helping you out. If it's a no, okay, cool. We're keeping it pushing. But maybe that's just not something that you want to ever be stuck with. Because the thing is that maybe is a no, but they're just not. They're essentially like they don't want to hurt your feelings, so they're saying maybe as opposed to telling you directly, okay, it's a no. So that middle ground, don't want to be in that at all, bro. So whenever all these goofy red pill people are trying to show their stuff to her saying she's not yours, it's not your turn, as Tony said, it is like a subtle shift in terms of how the game actually works and what they're trying to say, but it's the details that make all the difference. It might seem small, but the actual way in which you're maneuvering, the way that you're moving is so different that with one way in terms of you're going for a woman's soul, you're elevating her. With the other way, you're just trying to get some coochie out of her. And they're two completely different perspectives and completely different outcomes which are going to happen out of that. So you need to be thinking deeper into things like what do I actually want out of a situation? What am I hoping to achieve? And how is she going to help me and how am I going to improve her? Those kind of general questions, those kind of things will take your game to the next level and take also the way the women treat you to a next level as well.
Hey, yo, check it out, T. I got to get the fuck out of here. I don't know if you wanted to keep this shit going. Do you want to call it or do you want to just, you know what I'm saying, keep going without me?
No, we're chilling because I've got stuff to do and places to be as well. But this is a quick little podcast, a little like a shotgun worth of game. Like we came straight in, bow. All of this you got digested with.
We already know they was having their little withdrawals and they needed their little daily dose of this motherfucking game. You guys go ahead, keep kicking it, keep replaying, like and subscribe, you guys. That's how we get paid for this. That's how our shit blows up. For all you guys listening, go back on all the videos. It's only 3 or 4. Like all of them, subscribe. My Twitter, I just made a Twitter. It's Gamed Up Mindset, just like it sounds. Gamed Up Mindset. Instagram, Gamed Up Mindset. Link is in the bio for my book, Gaslight Academy.gumroad.com. Enter it just like that. Hit my Twitter up, hit my Instagram up, and hit T up. You know what I mean? He's got a whole bunch of good material. I've looked at all of his shit. You know, I've even had a hand in some of his things, just looked over him. All of his shit is fire. All my shit's fire. Me and him are also working on audio tools right now. So keep your mind open for that. Keep your eyes out for that. We're going to be dropping some audio tools. For some of you guys, it's easier when you're in the car. You don't have time to just stop and read, but you can listen to things. Listen in the gym, listen on your way to home. All right, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate all of you. Soak in what we said today. This game was a lot harder today, and it was going to be harsh for some of you motherfuckers who don't want to hear it. But just know, if something I said doesn't resonate with you, it was the bitch in you arguing. It wasn't because I'm wrong. Because what I do and what I talk about is real life. Everything I say has worked. I can show you the success. So if you disagree with something I'm saying, something's wrong with you. because everything I say has had results, tangible results you can see. You know what I mean? Same with T. He's over here doing big things you guys can't even see behind the scenes. So just taking what we say. If something you hear you don't agree with, then ask what's wrong with you. Don't ask what's wrong with us. And that's good. I'm out of here, bro. Take care.
Have a nice one, G. And for all of you who still listening, you already know where to find my stuff. That's Young Alpha Kings on all the socials. We out here. Keep doing your thing. Stay blessed, G.